August 10th, 2019, around 6:30 in the morning, inside a high-security prison in New York, a man is found dead in his cell. But this wasn't just any prisoner. It was Jeffrey Epstein. The official report says suicide, but the cameras weren't working, the guards weren't on duty, and the man who knew the secrets of some of the most powerful people in the world suddenly dies. So the question is, was this really a suicide, or was he silenced forever? Jeffrey Epstein, at first glance, just an ordinary man. But in reality, he was connected to some of the most powerful people in the world. His life was a puzzle because he had billions in wealth, but no clear business model and connections that reached the highest levels of power. Politicians, celebrities, business elites. He moved among them like one of their own. But the real question was, how did a former school teacher become so powerful? In the 1970s, Epstein started as a simple teacher, but within a few years, he entered the world of finance. Slowly, he built connections with extremely wealthy individuals. He began managing money for the elite, and that's when his real rise began. But his wealth was always a mystery. No one truly understood how he made his fortune. Epstein's connections were not normal. They were powerful, global, influential. Top politicians, famous celebrities, even members of royal families. He owned private jets, known by some as the Lolita Express. He owned a private island. Where, what happened, who visited, remains one of the biggest unanswered questions. In the early 2000s, several young girls came forward, accusing Epstein of exploitation. An investigation began. But then, in 2008, something shocking happened. He received a controversial plea deal which allowed him to avoid serious charges and serve a surprisingly light sentence. People were stunned. How did he get away so easily? This is where the conspiracy begins. Was Epstein acting alone, or was there something bigger behind him? Because his connections were powerful, he seemed protected again and again, and that made people even more suspicious. In 2019, Epstein was arrested again. This time, the charges were far more serious, and it seemed like the truth was finally about to come out. But then, just weeks later, he was found dead in his prison cell. Official cause, suicide. But cameras weren't working. Guards failed to monitor him. He had already attempted suicide before. Too many coincidences. People didn't believe it. The biggest question, Epstein's list. Who were his contacts? Who visited his island? This information has never been fully revealed, and maybe that is the real reason this mystery still exists. Maybe the truth will never fully come out, but one question will always remain. Did Jeffrey Epstein take his own life, or was he silenced before he could reveal everything?